Welcome to the After Party Hangover Wednesday review show. Today, my co-host, he is the father of the hashtag Decent Podcast catchphrase. Without him, there is no hashtag Decent. He is a still real Hall of Famer. He has returned to the After Party Hangover to help me break down AEW and NXT. It is Savage Alpha Foxtrot. What is going on, my man?
Hey man, what's up? Only took me like a month to get back on, but hey, we're here.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been wanting to get you back on here for a while now. I'm glad I got you back on. Let's go ahead and start conquering some wrestling talk. We kick it off with AEW and
All right.
horrible audio issues from the get-go.
Yeah. That's like my biggest thing with AEW, man, is like every single week they have some kind of AV issue, and this Wednesday's was particularly bad because it was like, I think I've got it written down like 1, 2, 3, like 10 times I wrote the word audio on my notes, and it's like every single segment the mics would cut out, or like we're listening to the house audio through the camera mics, or what's going on. Like, get better producers, or just figure out how to route your audio through the mixing board or something. I don't know.
I have no idea what was going on with their audio equipment, but I mean, I thought it was my TV at first. Like, I was checking my sound and everything, but it was theirs on their end. Thankfully, it didn't happen the entire episode for me. I don't know how it was like for you, but like the beginning, the first half hour is kind of botchy.
Yeah, it kind of, for me, it went up and down, and then I think they just said screw it and left the volume down, because after a while it kind of normalized, but the ad breaks were still really, really loud, so I'd have to turn my TV down for the ad breaks, but it was tolerable for the rest of the show.
Well, we start off with a 6-man tag match. It's the Young Bucks and Dustin Rhodes versus Sammy Guava Juice with Proud and Powerful from the Inner Circle. I like how Dustin Rhodes was really trying to fit in with the Young Bucks, and he had that weird wrestling gear with the tassels on the boots.
Yeah, that was my first thought too. Like, Dustin looks ridiculous, but damn it, the man can still go.
And you could tell he had fun on this match. I actually really enjoyed it. I like the fast-paced action of this match, and how they entertained as well when Dustin was doing the triple power slams, and he had to stop Sammy to catch his breath, and he's like, okay, let's do it. And he went and did the triple, the third one. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
They started with a triple super kick to Sammy. I'm surprised Goldust was able to lift his foot that high, but man, he may be old, but that dude can go, and he was having fun in this match. Young Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, he went on a Northern Lights suplex spree, man. He was going, first he got, I believe, Sammy, then he was getting Santana, and he tried to get Ortiz, but that 3 men was too much, understandably. They eventually get the better of him. Were you impressed with Matt Jackson's strength?
Dude, when he went wild just doing the suplex after suplex, and then he grabbed the other dude, I was like, no way, he is not going to do a double Northern Lights, and he freaking got it. that was a huge spot for him. And then I was kind of curious if they were gonna give him a triple, but they didn't. But still, it was pretty wild to see that.
I like how Matt and Nick Jackson have everyman bodies, like anybody you'd see on the street, but those fuckers are strong, man.
Yeah, they are.
I guess it pays to be in shape, right? I'll never understand.
Yeah.
And then Sammy, for some reason, brings his phone out, and he's doing an Instagram video or some vlog video, and he pays for it big time, because Goldust and the Young Bucks, they hit a Shattered Dreams and double super kick with Sammy just hanging there in the corner.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that happened too, because I'm with most of the guys on this one, and I absolutely hate Sammy Guevara.
That dude, not only
anytime he gets kicked in the face, like I'm with it.
he has the dumbest fucking haircut I've ever seen in my life.
I actually think I wrote that down. Stupid haircut.
He's got the stupid haircut. He's got the tongue hanging out. He comes out and wrestles in his chonies. He's pale. He's like the palest Mexican I've ever seen. Yeah,
and like in my opinion, the only person that can get away with tiny tights is Finn Balor.
Yes,
and he's the only dude that can get away with wearing really small wrestling shorts or trunks or whatever you want to call them. But like Sammy just looks like an idiot.
By the way, I like how Finn Balor wears those tighty whities just to show off his huge hog. You could always see the outline of his huge ass dick, and it's like making me uncomfortable, but I can't look away.
Like, Finn, we know what you're about, buddy.
He's got a happy wife now. I like how Santana and Ortiz have this. I've never seen this brought into a wrestling ring before, but a sock full of baseballs they call the slapjack.
Oh my god!
Talk about keeping it in the street, my god.
Which is kind of an interesting contrast. Like, if you listen to the New Day's podcast last week, they were talking about like the New Day was trying to break all the stereotypes and everything like that, and then
yeah, and these guys
like, no, screw that. We're going all in on this one.
Yeah, they're embracing the stereotypes, especially with the last week. Remember with the gift basket with the chanclas in it? Well, the match ends pretty impressively with a double pile driver senton. This was a really good way to start the show. I liked it a lot. Besides the audio issues, what were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a fun match. To be honest, I'm not a huge AEW guy, so I don't really get into AEW that like weekly. So this week I tuned it in just to see how it was going, and to be honest, this was like one of the first start to finish matches I've seen with the Bucks, and it's the first time I've seen Dustin wrestle since God knows when. So I thought it was a really fun match. Like I said, Dustin can still go. He's still an animal in the ring, and the Bucks are great. And not for nothing, I hate Sammy, but he is an athletic dude. So like he can hit the spots when he wants to, but I still hate him.
I still can't believe WWE had him and they let him go. That's. I bet you they regret the shit out of that, even though he's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, we followed that up. We followed that up.
What WWE would have had Sammy do.
Well, if they would have hired Sammy, they probably wouldn't have hired Cutie Snack.
Yeah, I'll take Cutie Snack over Sammy every day.
We followed this up with a match between Trent and Rey Fenix. Trent comes out with his best friends and Orange Cassidy, and then Rey Fenix looking like a grown-up Rey Mysterio. They announced him. They announced that he was accompanied by Pentagon Jr. and he just comes out by himself with the pyro and everything. And Tony Schiavone had to correct him. He's like, Pentagon's getting ready for his match. He's not coming out.
Yeah. That's a big whoopsie on the announcer right there.
I did like this match. It was very competitive. Trent hitting that spear on the outside and Phoenix is jumping all over the ring. The most impressive part of this match to me was Phoenix running the top rope and kneeing Trent in the head. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, the only person that I've seen walk on the ropes is Taker, man. And he does like his little weird balance beam thing on the ropes, but I've never seen anybody like just straight sprint across the top rope and knee someone straight in the face.
Yeah, you're right.
That's pretty wild.
Undertaker, yeah, he has the help of the guy on the floor too because he's like holding his hand. But this Phoenix just sprinted across the top rope, and I thought that was pretty cool. Phoenix eventually wins with a spinning muscle buster bomb, which, by the way, I like how JR has to work race into everything. I don't know if you heard his commentary. He goes, he hit him with the Mexican muscle buster. And Tony Schiavone pretending like he didn't hear that. He goes, it was a muscle buster pin. He wins. But I like when they went to commercial, they did the picture-in-picture thing. And again, someone tried to shake Phoenix's hand after the match. And why do they keep doing this? He never shakes anyone's hand.
It's like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the shake hands after the match thing in general. But yeah, and that's another comment that I had too. Is we'll talk about this later on. But a lot of the high spot, not really high spots, but a lot of like high action moments for me at least were during commercial.
Yeah.
So there's another part later on in the show that we'll talk about that we'll probably go into fairly good detail on. But like all these after match beatdowns and everything like that, like they're in picture. So guys like me that don't give a crap about the picture in picture that try to fast forward through the commercials, they're missing these high action moments. So.
Yeah, because when you watch it back on the TNT app, I've heard that it does not include the picture-in-picture action, and a lot of people are confused. Like, why was Nyla Rose suspended? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like the Nyla Rose spot later on in the shows, like that was during the picture-in-picture for me. So. Like if you're watching on the TNT app, like you said, or if you fast forward through the commercials, like you're gonna miss that.
Yeah. Cody comes out with his dramatic entrance and shoots a promo in the ring with Tony Schiavone. Pretty good, Cody. Cody knows how to cut promos. It's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, that was a spicy promo.
He took a shot at NXT botching Crossroads like MJF does, I guess. And I like how he's just like, you know what? I'll do whatever it takes to get a match with you. You can have my truck. You can have my watch. I'm surprised he didn't take off his pants and be like, look, this Armani suit is $1,300. You could have this as well.
Yeah, basically just saying I'll do just about anything to have a match with you, which I think that'll be a pretty solid match, honestly. MJF and Cody, those two will freaking beat the crap out of each other.
Well, Cody's doing his damnedest to put over MJF. I hope he succeeds in doing it.
Oh yeah.
There was I don't know if you caught it, but I do follow AEW on Instagram, and they put out little videos every now and then. And MJF put out a video, I believe it was yesterday, and he was bragging that he was the one who sent the Blade and Butcher to take out Cody Rhodes. So that was an added wrinkle to why the Butcher and the Blade had showed up.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but yeah, that'd be interesting if that's actually the case.
Then we cut to a Joey Janela backstage interview, and I know he's a badass and he's insane, but I couldn't take him serious during this backstage interview, and he's like, you're going to have to kill me this time. And then Jon Moxley shows up and looks at him, and he's like, kids. And I that took all the wind out of the sails of Joey Janela trying to take him serious.
Like, Mox is the man, dude. Like, when they had Joey Janela back there with his, like, Randy Savage glasses and his stupid flat bill hat, like, just having him just go nuts and basically be dickhead. And then Mox just comes out and he's like...
Yeah. Just pretty much brought him down a few notches just by saying kids and walking away.
Yeah, and I don't know if Moxley's like a big dude or if Joey Janela is not a big dude, but Moxley he's like a full head taller than Joey Janela.
Yeah, like he said, he looked like his parent. That's why he said, oh, kids. They look like a father and a son that are about to fucking wrestle in the backyard on Thanksgiving. So after this Joey Janela interview, we get another Dark Order video. This one was kind of cheesy, but Yeah, this might be my least favorite Dark Order video that they've done. They've done 3 of them. This one was kind of corny with like an initiation of they showed the keyboard warrior saying, "I hate everybody. Everyone hates me." And they asked him, "Why do you want to?"
Bro, we get it.
Yeah, why do you want to join the Dark Order? And he's like, "Revenge." They're like, "All right, you're in." And then this fat guy who could have been me or Jake, we could have been cast as this guy, comes out and you ask him, "Why do you want to be in?" He's like, "'Cause I need friends." And then for some reason, all the cult members start pawing at his face. And that fat guy's just laying there screaming.
He's like, I just want friends, and the Dark Order Putty Patrol just starts molesting this guy's face.
The Dark Order Putty Patrol, that's all funny.
I'm like, what is going on with this right now? Like, we just went from, like, dark and weird to just plain odd.
I don't know if they were going for a Walking Dead vibe with the... You remember when Negan came in and he bashed everyone's brains in? It was kind of like the same, like dark lighting, and for some reason they had tiki torches all over the place. I thought that was a weird political move.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe instead of having the putties paw at his face, maybe if they did a beatdown or something like that, made it look a little more violent. Because I mean, they're already doing like the weird cult thing with the Dark Order and these vignettes that they're doing, so. Just go all in and have him beat the shit out of the guy.
You know what I would have done if I was producing that video? I would have said, okay, he wanted friends. Let's fuck him up. I would have been like, rip his shirt off and start whipping him. Like, turn him evil. Like, make him angry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought that was where it was going to go. Like, they were going to beat the crap out of him and then put a Dark Order mask on him. And then, like, I thought it was going to lead into some kind of a Dark Order match where this guy that just got the shit beat out of him would be wearing the mask, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not where it went.
Very, very strange video. I do like it, though, because it shows a lot of creativity on AEW's part. We move on to the Nyla Rose versus Leva Bates match. And Leva Bates is one half of the Librarians, which, by the way, the Librarians are just there to eat pins, I'm guessing. Because neither of them could win a match to save their life.
Yeah, I mean, they just look like everybody's off the street. They're like, "Hey, you want to be on TV? Boom! Here's a pair of glasses and a vest."
Exactly.
They don't. I mean, I know they're trying to put AEW over as like the anti-WWE big sweaty man thing, but the Librarians just don't look like wrestlers to me.
Forgive my ignorance, but I was not aware Nyla Rose was transgender.
I wasn't either, and to be honest, me personally, I don't care. Like, do you, whatever.
Well, the guys on the podcast, every time they talk about Nyla Rose, they keep tippy-toeing around something, and I never caught on to that. Like Zanka would like watch his mouth when he's talking about Nyla. I'm like, what is going on here? And then this morning, I Google Nyla Rose, and it first transgender wrestlers signed to AEW. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Why are they letting a dude beat the hell out of chicks?
Besides the transgender thing, like she's just a large human being. Like not that she's fat by any means, but she just looks like she's strong as hell. So when you put her in the ring with Leva Bates, who's, a quarter the size of her, of course she's going to throw her around like a rag doll.
Well, she's built like, she's built like an army tank and has man strength, and they put her up against that little Asian chick who's the champion right now. I can't believe that Rio won against that thick fucking army tank.
That was the debut show, right? The Nyla and Rio fought?
Yeah, for the championship.
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, they did a picture-in-picture after the match, and a lot of shit went down. Shanna came out.
Oh, yeah.
Shanna came out to help the Librarian, and Nyla just beat the shit out of them. Put a ref through a table, and then fucking powerbombed Shanna on the ref.
Yeah.
So
that I thought that was really I thought it was a really cool spot, and again, it's frustrating that they would put that on picture-in-picture.
I wonder how many people really missed that. I bet you their YouTube blew up because everyone had to go back and check what they were talking about.
Yeah, either like Twitter or YouTube was how most people probably saw that. And I don't remember where the clip was, but they not so subtly took another, not really shot, but another reference to NXT with Britt Baker in the crowd. There's a video with JR on commentary, and he's like, "Oh, that's Britt Baker, Adam Cole's girlfriend."
Yeah. And wasn't she doing the same face, too, that she did at the NXT TakeOver?
Yeah.
Well, this ultimately leads to Nyla Rose being suspended for the rest of the year, which is only 3 weeks.
Ooh, 3-week suspension. Sounds like someone got their holiday time off approved.
I guess she's going to go finish the surgery to make her fully a woman or something. She needs that time to heal. I'm not really sure, but...
I guess so. I don't... Listen, I don't care if she's got outdoor plumbing or not.
Well, now we get to the second best promo of the night because, Cody and Jericho are the only two that can actually do it.
Absolutely.
Jericho and Jake Hagar come out to the ring, and apparently Jericho had a lot to say, and he did, in fact, bring out a new list. He tells the crowd to relax. It's not 2016.
Yeah. So I thought this was pretty interesting that Jericho is basically doing his greatest hits. Like last week he did the Thanksgiving extravaganza, which was basically the Festival of Friendship. And then this week he's doing the Lexicon of Le Champion, which is the list of Jericho. So he's doing all of his WWE greatest hits, but they're still great.
Is he going to come out next week in a suit and spit out a bunch of complicated words like he did back in 2008 when he teamed up with Big Show, Jericho? Remember that version of Jericho?
Yeah. I want him to come out and do the Man of 1,000 Holds promo again.
That would be funny because, like he said, he's doing his greatest hits. He busts out the Lexicon of Le Champion. And he basically just runs down a huge list, which had Moxley on it 28 times, of people he will not face for the AEW Championship. And here comes Jurassic Express with Midget Marco coming out and leading the charge.
Yeah, Marco is a child. And I don't know if that's funny to me or if it's just like, get off my television, you small thing.
Marco makes my thumb hover around the fast forward button every time I see him.
Yeah.
But this leads to Luchasaurus speaking. I've never heard Luchasaurus speak, but my God, did he sound nerdy.
I thought that was a good promo, especially that he did like the growl at first. He was like, yeah, is that how you think I talk? And then he just kind of ran him down. And who knew that Luchasaurus was a gigantic nerd?
And he has a master's in medieval history. Jeez, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But a funny observation of Jungle Boy, that his physique. He looks like he walked out of the movie The Blue Lagoon. Look it up, kids. With Brooke Shields. Jungle Boy is going to be facing Jericho next week. The 18th, actually. Are you looking forward to this match? I've never seen Jungle Boy in a really big match situation before. Have you?
No, and I'm really looking forward to that, too, because I've seen him in some of his lower profile matches, and I think he's a good wrestler, honestly. And what's really frustrating is that wrestling always seems to go to the town that I used to live in like a week after I move away.
Oh, shit.
So the 18th, they're going to be in Corpus Christi, and I was literally just there like 2 months ago. I just moved away from Corpus. They're going to be in, I think it's Houston next week and Corpus the week after. So, like, I could have gone to 2 AEW shows back to back had I still been there. But
I think
now I'm not in Texas anymore.
All of us Still Real After Party Army members need to go to one AEW show in our lives just so we can tell the story.
Yeah.
Well, next match we get Chris Statlander, who's an alien apparently, taking on Hikaru Shida. I'm just going to call her Shida. Shida is the #1 contender for Rio's championship. But this weird alien chick, Chris Statlander, is pretty good in the ring. I don't really like her gimmick.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun match. The entrances were a little dramatic for my liking, but that's whatever. The only thing I have on this match in particular was like they did the entrances, they did the ring announcing, they rang the bell, and then immediately went to a commercial.
Yeah, that's
so like the first couple minutes of this match were picture in picture. So, but then we came back, and I really like the AEW refs because they always hype up the matches. So like they'll react to the big spots and stuff. So if you pay attention to the refs, they try to the refs will sell the spots too, which I think is really, really fun.
I would have preferred the entrances been picture in picture, and us getting to see the entire match on the big screen, because the entrances, they don't really matter that much for two people. We don't know who they are, you know?
Yeah.
But
this is kind of a my own ignorance, but is that how AEW, like the set for AEW always is, where just the ramp goes straight into the ring?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought that
was odd, but I wasn't sure if that was always like that. And that's on my own ignorance.
Do you like it or do you not like it?
I mean, I don't hate it. It's just different to me because, you know, I'm not really into the indies too much, so I'm used to seeing the normal mainstream WWE ring setups where you've got the ramp that comes down and the ring steps and everything like that. So I mean, I don't hate it. It's an interesting take on it.
I have mixed feelings about it. I think it looks unique. That's a good thing. However, when you're throwing people over the top rope and they land on the entrance ramp that's outside of the ring, I don't think it has much of. It doesn't have as big as effect. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't fall as far down. But I mean, AEW's got to have their own identity, and this makes them stand out. Just like the TNA and their 6-sided ring, AEW can have their entrance ramp lead up to the ring. That's fine with me, I guess.
Yeah, and when Sin Cara inevitably goes to AEW, he'll have a much easier time getting over that rope.
Yeah, hopefully his foot doesn't catch the rope and he fucking breaks his neck on the fucking apron. Well, Chris Statlander wins with a tombstone, but she put some stank on it. She like cradled the legs and forced her Sheeta's head just right into the mat for the 3 count.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I was like, weird pile driver, but okay, man. That was a pretty devastating looking tombstone that she did on that.
And the lights go out afterwards, and who appears? Awesome Kong, standing there with her Kongness. And Brandy Rhodes, I like this little detail she did. She hides behind Awesome Kong because, you know, she's basically a brick wall. And you can see Brandy's hand touch Awesome Kong's shoulder, and then she, like, appears behind her. I thought that was, like, a cool little, like, cartoonish, evil way to come out. I appreciated that little detail. However, the promo that Brandy cut it sounded very, it kind of sounded scripted. Like, I didn't really believe her.
It sounded very scripted to me. I don't know if Brandy's just not that great of an actor, which is not really a dig on her, but it definitely sounded like an extremely scripted, like, word for word promo. I thought the promo was okay. They try to recruit Chris Statlander, and then they end up getting some random chick out of the crowd.
Yeah, this was wasn't this reminiscent to the Straight Edge Society? This was like way too similar to that. I mean, I guess it's fine because no one else is gonna do that, but they put a Straight Edge Society spin on the Nightmare Collective, which I guess is their stable name now. That chick in the audience got her head not completely shaved, but she got her hair cut. What's with these chicks and hair? Like they're hair worshippers. Like what? I know it's a trophy, but
I guess so. It's kind of weird, but it'll be interesting to see where they go with it.
And up next, we get Christopher Daniels versus Pentagon Jr. This was the lowest point of the show for me. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people because Christopher Daniels was coming back from an injury, and you could tell, like, this dude had some ring rust. He botched a slingshot to the outside of the ring. Kind of took the wind out of the crowd when he did that, but Phoenix eventually shows up to help Pentagon. He throws the mic stand in the ring. Pentagon uses it and wins. What are your thoughts on this match?
I agree with you. It was kind of a low spot. It wasn't that exciting of a match, and like you said, you could tell that Christopher Daniels was kind of coming back. Maybe if you didn't know that he was coming back from an injury, you would think that he's just kind of like a new guy if you don't know Christopher Daniels. But yeah, I thought it was okay. It was decent.
Very, I'd say, if I was to give this match a slice rating, I'd say 1 and the crust.
Yeah, if I was there live, that would have been a good opportunity to go get a beer and take a piss.
Well, just before the main event, we get a Butcher, Blade, and Bunny video package, and I gotta be honest, you guys can make fun of me if you want, but the dude with the monocle freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, these guys are kind of weird, and yeah, they all three of them kind of freak me out. She's got that weird leather bunny mask. I don't know if I should be scared or turned on or what's going on.
Yeah, when he has his eyes open wide and he's got that monocle in there, he's just staring at the screen. He just looks like he's gonna murder me. But hopefully these three put on good matches because they can sure intimidate through promos. Then we get the main event. Joey Janela, the bad boy, takes on Jon Moxley in an actual wrestling match. I'm actually watching it right now. It's on my TV, and it's a good back and forth. It does look like a father and son fighting, but they pulled off some great moves. I can't really shit on Joey Janela or Jon Moxley. It was a great match. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought they had some really good back and forth when they went back and forth with the chops, and Mox just straight chops Joey Janela straight in half.
Yeah.
I think if I remember right, Moxley no-sells one of Janela's chops and then just destroys his chest.
Yeah, he stood there. It was like they were having a chop-off, like you said, and of course Moxley's going to win because Janela's like a size and a half above Marco. But it was a good main event. I don't think it was a star power main event, but it ends with Moxley staring down Jericho, who's in the crowd. And of course the crowd's going nuts around Jericho, touching him and taking pictures. Jericho's trying to keep a straight face and hold up his title, and he kind of loses his balance too, which was funny. But this episode of AEW, it was okay. Of course, the Jericho and Cody promos were the things to watch. But
absolutely, yeah.
Other than that, I can't really say anything great about this episode.
Yeah, I mean, personally, in my opinion, I think that for now, I don't know when it's going to happen, but until AEW kind of starts to pick up its own steam, it's kind of treated like Jericho's personal playground. They kind of let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Cody obviously will come out and he'll cut his promos and everything like that, but they've kind of given Jericho full creative control to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And that's not a bad thing. Everything Jericho does is hilarious. But there's just not a lot of building of people that if you don't know who these guys are, then I don't feel like there's a lot of build up going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to thank you right now for sitting through this episode of AEW. Thank you for helping me break it down.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge AEW mark, and it was kind of funny because I was watching this last night with my wife sitting right next to me, basically complaining the whole time because she hates wrestling and I am not an AEW fan. I'm like, honey, I'm sorry, but I have to sit through this too.
I just noticed something right now. I can't believe it, but Dean Ambrose has an earring in his left ear. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I wondered about that. Has he always had that, or is that new, or what's going on?
This is the first time I'm seeing it. What? Dudes still wear earrings? That's a thing?
I guess so, man. I don't. And it was like a diamond ring too, like a stud, not like a 90s hoop ring that the the bad boys of the 90s used to wear. It's like he actually had like a diamond stud in there.
I wonder if he lost a bet, or is Renee busting his balls? Like, what the fuck was he thinking?
I don't know. Maybe he lost a bet with her. Who knows?
I wouldn't doubt it. She wanted to embarrass him. Like, if Renee would have lost, she probably would have had to come out with a tongue ring in or something.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the better show. NXT. Mauro Ranallo returns to NXT. He's telling us what's happening during the show this episode, and he gets cut off by Killian Dane, the hefty bag of hair. And Killian Dane is in the ring and issues an open challenge, basically. He says, I'm not leaving till I get a fight. And who comes out? The Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. These two have had history in the past because, you know, for some reason, Pete Dunne wanted to break Killian's fingers a few weeks back.
But these two absolutely murdered each other.
Oh yeah. Killian can take the punishment and bring the punishment, and Pete Dunne is just fantastic all around. I'm a huge fan of Pete Dunne. Yeah, Pete Dunne. To me, Pete Dunne's kind of weird looking. I don't know if it's a combination of him having a large head and the singlet that he wears or what, but like Pete Dunne looks weird, but the guy can go, and he's a phenomenal wrestler, I think. The very first time I watched Pete Dunne was the UK tournament, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was his skin, his face skin. He looks like he had some battles with acne, like during puberty. Like he's got a fucked up face, and he always does that snarl with his lips, that weird like Elvis snarl lip curl. Is funny.
Right. Yeah.
But
it always weirded me out too when he had the championship. He would carry it out with his mouth.
Oh yeah, you know the Brits and their fucked up teeth. That dude. Yeah, talk about chewing on rocks. But yeah, Pete Dunne, of course, starts manipulating digits at the beginning of this matchup, and it always makes me wince when he does that. It must be really effective too, because goddamn, they always nurse those wounds during the match. Killian, speaking of picture-in-picture, Killian Dane during the commercial breaks would attack Pete Dunne's knee. He was working on that injured knee most of the match, and Pete Dunne was doing a good job selling it as well. Eventually, they ended up in the corner. Pete superplexes Dane. I guess this pisses Dane off because they go to the outside, and Killian Dane hit you remember Wade Barrett's finisher, the Wasteland? Killian hit that finisher to Pete Dunne onto the ring apron. That looked like it fucking hurt, dude.
Yeah, like I said, these two just killed each other for like 20 minutes.
Dane follows it up with a senton and then cannonball Pete Dunne into the ring stairs. So it was a trifecta of punishment, but fucking Pete Dunne, he keeps on going, and eventually
Killian Dane has no regard for his own personal safety. He just throws his body around and uses his entire body as a weapon.
I bet you Triple H told him, dude, if you want to stand out and you want to get pushed, you need to bring it every time. And Killian Dane is basically like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get noticed. And he got noticed this match.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that they broke Sanity up, but he's doing great things in NXT, man.
They eventually end up on the top turnbuckle. Pete Dunne puts a sleeper onto Killian Dane, and Killian Dane falls asleep. However, when he does, the avalanche of flesh lands on Pete Dunne off the top rope, basically taking him out. And just by accident, Killian Dane covers Pete Dunne for the win. A rare Pete Dunne loss, but this was a very good way to kick off NXT.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good way to also keep Pete Dunne looking strong too, because if they didn't make it like it wasn't like a dirty finish or a clean finish by any means. Like the only reason he lost is because a 300-pound man passed out on top of him.
Exactly.
So it was a good way to put both the guys over, and Pete Dunne still looks strong.
Yeah, it protected Pete Dunne.
Both of these guys can freaking go, man.
We follow up this awesome match with a Dakota Kai interview. Dakota Kai's still new to this heel character. I think she's doing a great job. But Dakota Kai used a term that I have not heard before on WWE programming. I've heard bitch, that like Roman Reigns, like all the women use bitch. They throw bitch around a lot. And Kevin Owens with his bullshit. Well, we get Dakota Kai calling Mia Yim a hood rat.
Yeah, Dakota Kai turning heel. I'm all for it. I'm glad she doesn't look like Kelly from Saved by the Bell this week. But the black eyeliner, apparently black eyeliner makes you heel, and with the top bump that she's got going on. But yeah, I really like her as a heel. She's in my opinion, she's not to compare her to Bayley, but I prefer Dakota Kai over heel Bayley.
Well, don't forget, not only do heels need eyeliner, but they only need to wear black.
Yeah, all black with black eyeliner that makes you a heel.
Well, after this, the Undisputed Era comes out, basically running down the roster again, blaming NXT for injuring Bobby Fish, and Keith Lee makes his way out, and Keith Lee is on fire, man. He is on a roll.
Oh my God. They need to do whatever they can to hide Triple H not Triple H. They need to do whatever they can to hide Keith Lee from Vince McMahon, because if they're not careful, they're going to lose Keith Lee to NXT, and he's going to go to like Raw or SmackDown, and he's still going to be great. But the loss to NXT, if Keith Lee leaves, is going to be huge.
If Keith Lee goes to SmackDown or Raw, it's going to be Funkasaurus 2.0.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing, too, is that Vince McMahon will absolutely ruin Keith Lee.
He will make him a mid-carder faster than Eric Young.
Oh, yeah.
They call Keith Lee the moment maker, but, of course, this week again, he's the meme maker. We'll discuss that later on during the show. But Tommaso Ciampa comes out to help Keith Lee because he's getting jumped. Keith Lee just wanted a title shot. He was staring down all the championships, and Undisputed Era took great offense to this. So they triple team him. Here comes Tommaso Ciampa to help out, and they back off Undisputed Era for now. But the main event will be a 6-man tag that we will talk about later. We then cut to a Xia Li promo, who I cannot take serious for the life of me. She's like the ultimate underdog, in my opinion, because I haven't seen much of her, and she doesn't win that often.
I was into her promo until she did like that weird karate kick at the end.
that looked like a Vince McMahon thing. Make sure you tell them. Yeah. Make sure they know you know karate. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I thought it was a solid video package or promo or whatever until that, and that kind of pulled me out a little bit. But I still like Xia Li. I think she's good, and I think she has a good match later on in the show that we'll get into in a minute.
Well, after commercial break, Xia Li and Shayna Baszler do face off in a very short matchup. I didn't write too many notes on this match besides Shayna tapping out Xia. What did you write about this match?
I wrote down Shayna will break your shit.
Yeah.
She basically, I think she basically worked just about every extremity on Xia Li, and eventually got her, I think, got her in her finisher and made her pass out, and that was the finish on that one. What I thought was interesting is Shayna went for a pin after one of the spots and didn't even let her kick out, just got up, just let her get up and continued to beat her down.
Shayna is a pit bull that will fuck you up, and
oh, absolutely.
Her title reign has been the most impressive of 2019, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyone they put up against her...
We got to back up a little bit, because before that Xia Li Shayna match, there was a Kushida package. We got a Kushida video package.
You know what? I think I'm biased here. Kushida doesn't do it for me. I'm still not...
Yeah?
I just got to see more. Like I'm
okay.
willing to accept Kushida. I need to see more because after Walter injured him and he was away for a while, I completely forgot about him. And when he came back, I was like, oh, okay, let's see what we can do. He did a good his match tonight with Cameron Grimes. We'll get into. It was pretty damn good. But yeah, that's why I didn't write that down. It's basically it's basically me being a prick. But I'll get into it. I'm willing to accept it.
I thought it was a pretty solid video package to kind of hype us up for Kushida coming back. If they really wanted to build hype for him, though, maybe do the video package, give him a week off, and then have him debut back next week or something. I don't know.
Yeah, build up the anticipation.
I thought it was a pretty solid match, and we'll talk about it here in a minute.
After this, we had a Cassius Ohno promo claiming he's the world's best British wrestler. I haven't been watching NXT UK. Have you?
Nope. And I'm honestly not a big Cassius Ohno fan. Like, I get the any man wrestling moniker that he's got, and like I'm the greatest attitude that he has, but like, dude needs to do a few sit-ups, man.
Cassius Ohno looks like he's a factory worker, and he was right about to go to the bar before someone told him, "Hey, you're a wrestler. You need to come wrestle tonight."
Yeah, like he's on his way to the bar, and some guy's like, "Hey, man, you want to make $20?"
Yeah. Well, this match was the next match coming up could easily have been written off as a bathroom break match, but there's a specific moment in this match that I reacted to. We get the Forgotten Sons basically taking on jobbers, but these jobbers are from Evolve, the other promotion that we saw earlier this year. The Forgotten Sons, they did win pretty quickly. It was like a showcase match for the Forgotten Sons. They win with like a reverse DDT stomp. But the moment of this match that got a reaction out of me was after the match. Gunner, he choke slams Leon Ruff out of the ring. Did you see that? Like, I was sitting down and my jaw actually dropped when that happened. I was like, holy shit. This dude's a jobber. He's probably making like maybe $50 tonight, and he took that unnecessary bump.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I probably either was in the bathroom or fast forwarding through this part because I didn't see the choke slam outside, and if I did, I would have probably had the same reaction as you.
Go back.
Because regardless, jobber or not, any human being choke slammed over a top rope to the outside of a ring, that's a huge freaking spot.
Well, the worst part of it, go back and watch this match, but fast forward to the end. Watch Gunner. He choke slams Leon Ruff from the inside of the ring to the outside, but on the way down, Leon hits the corner of the apron. And then hits the ground. It was like, this could have been like a homicide. That was awful. That dude, I hope he got a bonus that night because he might have some future spine problems because of that specific chokeslam.
Yeah, and that goes for the whole match too. Like the Suns just absolutely murdered these two.
Well, after this match, we get Dakota. Oh, okay, yeah. I gotta heap some praise. All right. I wasn't really feeling Dakota Kai when she first debuted and was running around trying to be the Bayley 2.0. This heel turn, I don't know whose idea it was to have Dakota Kai come out to Tegan's screaming and her beating the shit out of her as her Titantron. That was
she brings the knee brace.
Excellent.
She brought out the knee brace that she beat the shit out of her with.
Has the knee brace for insult to injury. The Titantron is her beating her ass and her screaming. That was her music. I was a fan.
That was great.
I am a big fan of heel Dakota Kai now because of this.
Yeah.
Of course,
that was great.
Wearing all black, she looks a little bit hotter. We thought we were gonna get a match, but as soon as Dakota Kai gets in the ring, Rhea comes out. And Rhea looking smoking hot, 6 Mia Yim on Dakota, and beats the shit out of her. Then Shayna Baszler comes out with her skeletons, and they jump Rhea because Dakota Kai and Mia Yim have fought off somewhere in the crowd. They disappear.
Yeah.
Shayna, this was a really brutal attack on Rhea Ripley. I guess Rhea had it coming because Rhea's running on this high after Survivor Series, and she's basically she's cock of the walk now, thinking her shit don't stink, and Shayna and the Skeletons brought her ass back down to earth. What did you think of this?
I thought it was a fun beatdown. And they really put Rhea over strong, basically because she continued to fight off all three of them by herself. And the only reason she went down was because the Skeletons grabbed her arm and she couldn't pull Shayna off of her anymore. And then she eventually passed out, and Bryce had to come pull Shayna off of her.
I felt bad because
I thought it was a real fun beatdown, honestly.
Like you said, like she was fighting all three of them. Shayna could not lock on the Kirifuda clutch because she kept like squirming out of it. And then that camera shot of Shayna putting Rhea's neck on the middle rope and the Skeletons holding her arms, like that made me feel so bad for Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
But it was, of course, it puts Rhea over as a total badass again. It builds up hype for their match on the 18th. Because Shayna, with her Muppet Baby voice, basically says, "It's on!" So we're going to see that match take place on the 18th as well.
Shayna needs a manager. She shouldn't talk. She's a badass, but I can't take her seriously when she talks.
That's the one thing she needs to work on the most. I bet you she's trying her hardest, but she needs to try a little bit harder.
Yeah.
We get a Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa backstage interview. They're asking them, well, who's going to be your partner for the 6-man tag later? And instead of making it a surprise, it was kind of obvious. It was Dominic Dommy D. Well, I'll call him that. Dommy D comes out, and he is the third man in the 6-man tag, which, of course, like I said, was obvious. We get a Finn Balor video, which was incredibly impressive. Finn Balor being a heel, doing these video packages, extremely creative. You can tell he's a pro. He's been doing this for years. He's saying, they're playing checkers, I'm playing chess.
I am all about heel Balor, man. I'm so glad that he went back to NXT and he's just running roughhouse on these guys.
This is the best Finn Balor promo I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I really like the Demon Balor, but I hope they do not use the Demon in NXT. I just hope he's just badass, heel Finn Balor, just kicking the shit out of everybody.
If we see heel Demon Balor, I want him to come out and look extremely satanic. Like, I want him to take it to a whole new level of evil if he comes out as heel Demon. And you know he's not getting beat.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
The one downside to Finn being back in NXT is I was kind of looking forward to a Demon versus Fiend matchup, but doesn't look like that's going to happen.
They'll probably save that for the future. What I'm curious of is who's going to be the face and who's going to be the heel in that match.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we follow this up with Cassius Ohno versus Matt Riddle. I did not take a lot of notes on this. It was a really good match, though. Did you write any notes down for this matchup?
I thought it was a fun match. Cassius he's still a large man trying to wrestle, and his world's greatest wrestler shirt that he had, it looked like he made that shirt on his way to work. You know what I mean? But I thought it was a really good way not to put over how fat Cassius Ohno is, but to put over how strong Matt Riddle is. Like, he was suplexing this guy left and right like he was a sack of potatoes.
Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle have undeniable chemistry. They've wrestled many times in the past. Matt Riddle was obviously winning this match. The point of this match was to promote the upcoming Worlds Collide special event. They didn't really do a great job of promoting when it was, and I'm not even sure what the stakes are.
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a reward or something for the brand that dominates? Maybe it's just a fun special event they're throwing together because they have so much talent that they want to showcase. But I guess we'll find out in the future. Matt Riddle, of course, wins this matchup. We come out to Kushida versus Raul Mendoza. Nope. Cameron Grimes comes out and beats the shit out of Raul Mendoza. And they put on Kushida versus Cameron Grimes was one of the better matches of the night. Not the best match, but one of the better matches of the night. Very entertaining. Very entertaining, fast-paced match.
So, is Cameron Grimes, is he like a werewolf, or what's his deal?
He's mid-transition to a werewolf.
Yeah, seriously, because, like, he's a hairy man, and he comes out with a leather vest and the top hat, like, you're a freaking steampunk werewolf, bro.
His look is funny. Could you imagine what Vince McMahon would do with that if he got his hands on Cameron Grimes?
Yeah, Vincent, yeah. There are pretty much all the... Vince McMahon just needs to stay away from NXT and let H do his thing, because NXT is on fire, and let SmackDown and Raw be SmackDown and Raw. Just let NXT do its thing, man.
You know what Vince would do? He would make him come out with like gun holsters and spurs, and he'd have like a fucking little toy horse to come out on, and it would ruin him immediately.
God, if he comes out on a hobby horse, I would just... Ugh.
Well, it was a pretty good match. Kushida wins with a roll-up, the most devastating move in sports entertainment. But it was...
You never see it coming.
It was a pretty good matchup. I want to see more of Kushida. So I hope every week they feature him in a match so I want to like him, because the whole Back to the Future gimmick... Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the fact that he's using that as his gimmick is a major plus. I need to be wowed. He needs to woo me. He needs to woo me before I give up this pussy.
Yeah, exactly. The only critique I have on the match is like with Kushida coming off of a wrist injury, they really didn't put that over too much. Like, he nursed it a little bit, but I feel like Cameron Grimes should have worked that a little bit more and really focused on that wrist. And I think all he did was maybe stomp on his hand one time. But I think if they would have, it could have been a better match. Not to say it was a bad one, but it could have been better if they would have kind of worked the injury that he's coming off of a little bit more.
I wonder if they did that because Cameron Grimes was... maybe Cameron Grimes just has a different style, maybe. Maybe instead of him targeting limbs, he just did his own thing. Because his finisher is the double stomp to the chest. So maybe that's why he wasn't working on the wrist as much. But I see what you're saying. The main event, 6-man tag. This was the best match of the night, in my opinion. This match was awesome. I took a ton of notes on this one. Okay, so Kyle O'Reilly, Roddy Strong, Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era take on Keith Lee, Dami D, and Tommaso Ciampa. At the beginning of this match, we saw Dom using Kyle O'Reilly as a weapon, basically attacking the entire Undisputed Era using Kyle as a battering ram. They do that famous, what we've been talking about this whole review, picture-in-picture. One of the best spots in this match was Kyle jumped on Dom's back doing a sleeper hold, and Dom, with Kyle on his back, did a chokeslam stunner combo to the Undisputed Era. This was during the commercial break, picture-in-picture.
I know we dunked on AEW for about 35 minutes, but it happens in WWE programs too. Sometimes they put the freaking the high impact spots on picture-in-picture commercial breaks. Like, come on.
It was frustrating but entertaining as well. I'm just glad my TV's huge, so I didn't really miss. Yeah. I didn't really miss that much, but Eventually, Dom gets a hot tag to Ciampa, and Ciampa just starts fucking everybody up. He did the draping DDT to Adam Cole, taking his ass out. Project Ciampa to Kyle, which is basically a elevated backstabber. Ciampa, that dude, as small as he is, he can fuck everybody up. There's not a bad point in this match. This match was, if I had to give this match a slice rating, solid 6 slices. I loved it. I was very entertained.
Yeah, this match was great. I thought it was funny when Ciampa at one point kicks Roddy straight to the moon.
Yeah. Ciampa, it's just, and then Dom. This was a great showcase for Dom as well. What's strange though, they even replayed this after the match was over. Dom was on the top rope, and everybody else was on the outside of the ring. He did a spinning dive like plancha to everybody who was on the outside of the ring. He hit nobody. I don't know if you've noticed that, but he did the spinning dive, and they tried catching him, I think, and he hit nobody, but everybody fell down. That kind of took me out of it, and I just felt bad for Dom.
He's so big, the wind blew everybody down.
I guess so. He created a mini tornado, and it just knocked everybody down. Well, this match doesn't really end fairly because here comes Finn Balor fucking everybody up. He did a stomp, knocking everyone down like bowling pins, and he sat in the corner and was going to go after Adam Cole. But like I said at the beginning, he's not only a moment maker, but Keith Lee is a meme maker, because immediately after NXT went off the air, we get a now new meme from Keith. Finn Balor's in the corner doing the gun fingers, and out of nowhere, fucking Keith Lee rises from the fucking ground and just mad dogs Finn and grabs him by the throat and starts fucking him up too.
Just destroys Finn Balor.
He hits Finn with the Spirit Bomb, and my God, does he hit that Spirit Bomb on Finn. Finn, Finn got air. Like, after he hit the mat, he had some hang time.
Like, Keith Lee, like, as a human being, just should not exist. The man's like 350 pounds, strong as hell, and he can move like a cruiserweight. Like, this guy does moonsaults and crazy top rope spots on the regular. And he's like 350 pounds.
Keith Lee needs gold.
I don't understand how that's possible.
Keith Lee needs gold around his waist. Well, probably not his waist.
Yeah.
Keith Lee needs gold on his shoulder, because that dude works great. And like you said, he moves like a cruiserweight. I've been singing Keith Lee's praises the entire time I've been doing these NXT reviews. It's only a matter of weeks. I bet you he will get a title very soon. But to finish the match, Keith Lee hits the fireman carry jackhammer to Adam Cole for the win. He has a pinfall victory over Adam Cole. So what does this produce? Well, William Regal makes his appearance on the entrance ramp, and he announces that next week there will be a triple threat match for the number 1 contendership for the NXT Championship, putting Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor versus Keith Lee. And as soon as that's...
I'm excited for that match. These three are going to tear the house apart.
As soon as he announces that, Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa look at each other like, oh shit, here we go. It's on.
Yeah, these three are just going to blow the roof off, man.
I guess this culminates on the 18th as well. Adam Cole will face the winner of this triple threat match. I want to know your early betting odds. Who are you picking to win this triple threat?
That's kind of a tough call, because they've been building Keith Lee. They've been building up Keith Lee. Ciampa's back. Finn's back. So if I had to put my money on anybody, if I were a betting man, I would go Keith Lee, man, honestly. I don't know if it's too soon for him to have the gold, but I think he should. I think he's at least deserving of a title match. Maybe not the gold itself, but he should at least get the match.
Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. I don't think the match is going to end decisively. I think there's going to be a dusty finish, and on the 18th, we're going to get a fatal 4-way match. That
I didn't
way,
even think about that.
That way,
I'd buy that for $1.
If Adam Cole does lose the championship, it could be Keith Lee pinning Tommaso Ciampa, protecting Adam Cole, setting up a rematch for the next takeover.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's going to be a fantastic match, fantastic main event next week. Good luck, AEW, topping that, because all eyes will be on NXT. The ratings did come out for last week, and AEW won by 6,000 viewers. I haven't looked up this week's. Oh, that's this week's. Never mind. That was this week's results. It was only a difference of 6,000. They were neck and neck. Next week, I hope NXT dominates. But, we can be critical of both shows, but they're both entertaining. They both make Wednesdays great. It's our favorite night of wrestling. What are your final thoughts on both shows before I let you go?
That's just like you said, man. I'm not a huge AEW fan, but it is a fun show to watch. I usually watch Raw and SmackDown after the fact. I rarely watch wrestling live, but I at least try to make a point to watch NXT live, just because NXT is just a lot of fun. It's Wednesday night, so it's in the middle of the week, so it's a good way to start the end of the week, if you will. And then usually after NXT is over, I'll flip over to AEW and kind of browse through that. But yeah, like you said, both shows are fun. I don't hate either show. I prefer NXT over AEW, but again, AEW's got Cody and Jericho, and Jericho alone does make watching AEW worth it.
Well, let me take a minute here to blow some smoke up your ass. I do love, in our exclusive Hall of Fame chat on Instagram, I love your immediate takes on wrestling, because anytime a show ends, I'll get on there and I see what you say, and everything you say makes complete sense.
It's usually me shitting all over the show, too.
It makes sense, though.
My hot takes usually aren't positive. My immediate feedback is usually like, oh, they screwed this up, they botched this, screw wrestling, I'm never watching it again. And then the next week, it's like, hey, did you guys catch AEW?
Yeah. That was not funny, man. Well, thank you again for watching both shows. Thank you for joining me here on the Wednesday review show. Everybody go out there and follow at Savage Alpha Foxtrot. He's a good man. He's an Air Force. He's in the Air Force. His catch. I want Savage Alpha Foxtrot to get his newest catchphrase over. Please tell the people your newest catchphrase.
A newest catchphrase?
Yeah. You remember you said it on the...
Oh, yeah, that's right. First of all, not to nitpick, but I'm in the Marine Corps, not the Air Force.
I'm very sorry.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, the new catchphrase, put on a t-shirt, fly fast, eat ass.
That is awesome. Fly fast, eat ass. Well, thank you again, my friend. Thank you for joining me. And thank everybody who's thank you to everyone who's listening to this. We went over an hour. Thank you for your time. And as always, all hail Linda's Bush. Once again, thank you to my two guests this hangover, Cynic_Chaos. Follow him on Instagram. Also, the Hall of Famer at Savage Alpha Foxtrot. Thank you both for coming on. Thank you, everybody who listens to this. And now it's time for the plugs. You want to follow the Steel Real After Party on the Instagram. It is at Steel Real to Us, at After Party Jake, at After Party Zanka. On Facebook, you just search Steel Real After Party and hit that like button. You want to cover up them nips with some Steel Real merchandise? It's shop.spreadshirt.com/Steel Real After Party with the brand new Hail Caesar shirt. I'm going to get me one of those once I get paid. And as always, stop using leaf blowers. Get a rake, you lazy fox.